I can't. That sucks. Okay. Hello everybody, welcome to Wise Family Farm. Today I am making elderberry tincture. Now, I made a huge mistake and froze all my elderberries this year. And so I have about 25 bushes right now. And so I went out there and got what I could from them to make an elderberry tincture. With everything that's going on right now, talk of new things, new sicknesses and stuff, I thought that this would be a good thing to do. Oh my God, Abby! Oh my God, that's so funny that you popped in. My husband was just talking about you yesterday. He's like, what's going on with Abby? I haven't heard from her in a while. Haven't seen a video. So thanks for coming in, Abby. Appreciate you. Let me check on my son just real quick. Give me one moment. I wanted to make sure he was where I had left him. So, okay, I have all these elderberries, but I have few and far between. I can tell you that. Most of them got picked over. The birds ate them, whatnot. So I'm going to get what I can from what I got, and then I'm going to make a tincture. So first things first is I need to clean these up. And people say it's real easy to, when you get these things, to get a fork and just pop them off. But I have noticed when I take a fork and just pop them off, I get the stems. And I don't want the stems. Now, a lot of people are afraid of elderberry because it has cyanide in it. And it does. It has a small traces of cyanide in the stems. Now, if you're doing a bunch of these, I would think that you would get cyanide poison if you include the stems. But if you're not including the stems, don't worry about it as much because you're not going to get that. So what I don't use the fork because it's a pain in the ass. So what I do is I just take my hands, and yes, my hands are going to be stained, but what I do is I just roll them and they pop right off. I roll them in my fingers, and then I'll just put them in my strainer. So that's what I'm doing today, guys. And I don't have that much, so I'm gonna have enough probably to fill a jar not even halfway. So, but okay, so I'm making a tincture. What do I use in a tincture? Well, I use the cheapest vodka that I can find. And this is what I have. This is what I could find. It's Kentucky vodka, 110 proof. This is what I keep around for all my tinctures. I prefer not to go any higher than this because it can mess up your tinctures. It can fry them if you use too much alcohol. I know some golden grain alcohols, golden grain, when I used to live in Kentucky, it was like 191 proof. You don't need something that high in alcohol content. Just need something that's 80%. So 80% to 100% is fine. Or proof, I mean, not percent. God, if you used a percentage, that would be crazy. But no, so you don't need all that. I'm using this 110. It's called, I don't even know what it's called. But anyway, it's bottled in Bardstown, Kentucky. So that's what I'm using. So anyway, I'm periodically going to have to check on my son because I can hear him outside. It is 100 degrees in here because we didn't turn on the air conditioning because we're trying to save money. So I'm just going to pop these off, and it'll take me a minute to do that. And there are some green ones still on here, which I'm surprised because I thought they were all ripe. But I'm just going to pop these off. And when you're doing this, it's so easy. You can just roll them off, pop them right off, and you won't have the stems. But if I use that fork, I'm going to get all those little teeny stems, and I don't like that because then I have to go through. See that? You'll get that. And then I have to go through each individual one and pop them off because if you're making a pie or something like that, or even if you're making a syrup, you don't want those things in your freaking syrup. So I just do it by hand, and I don't care if my hands get messy. I used to work in paint, and my hands would be a wreck all the time. And so, yeah, not really worried about it. So yeah, if you squeeze one, your hands will be stained for quite some time. Hello, Tammy. Thanks for coming in. Hello, Garden State Gardener. The gardener's in the house. Thank you so much. Hey, Shawnee Shav. What's up? But yeah, we got busy and I didn't have time. I have a lot of elderberries frozen, so I will probably be making something out of that. I really wanted to make wine, so I don't know. Hey, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. I had 4 people watching and not a thumbs up. And you know what? When you give me a thumbs up, you're helping out my channel. If you give me a thumbs down, you're helping out my channel. And if you're watching, please make sure to comment, because if you're not, then you're not helping out my channel. So please leave a comment. I don't care what it is. It could be hey, it could be F you, for all I care. Just please make a comment so I know you're here. Okay? Okay. So anyway, I'm just going to pop these off. What do we say? My hands are purple from picking elderberries this morning. Yeah. It's just like it's a permanent thing. Plus, it's easier and more efficient to use your hands. Oh, for sure. The fork idea, at first I thought it was great. I'm like, yeah, I'll use a fork. And then I got all those little teeny stems in it, and then I had to go through every single one. And at that time, I had like 16 pounds of elderberries. I'm like, what the hell? And then I have all these little stems all over in my berries. But yeah, I didn't have much, guys. I really didn't. So I'm going to move on to the next. And let me check on Fred real quick. One moment. Okay. We're good. All right. Oops, sorry. Hello, Scan family. Listening while packing to move. Oh, Lord. Yes, girl. What? Huh? I didn't hear. Sorry. Yes, girl, make that wine. That's right. I'm making a crustless tomato pie and smashed baby red potatoes for lunch. Interesting. Now, I do have a bunch of lychee tomatoes, but we have decided not to use them because they're disgusting. So when we pick the stem with the berries, can we freeze that whole thing and deal with it later? No, you have to pop them off. You have to pop them off, rinse them off, and then pop them in the freezer. You don't want to stick that whole stem. It's a waste of space. So you just want to pop them and make sure you get the berries, and then at that point you can freeze them from there. But when you freeze them, you can't really make tinctures and stuff because they'll be really watery. So you want to make sure you're using the freshest matter for that. Good luck on the move, Scan family. Yes, good luck, because that sucks. I never want to move again. I had so much crap when I moved to this house. I threw out so much stuff. I'm like, I'll never move ever again. I'll move when I die. Okay, so that's some more elderberry stuff here. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these off. With these came a bunch of stink bugs. I had stink bugs all over the place. And stink bugs come in all different forms. I had a lot of stink bug nymphs. I don't know if you've ever seen a stink bug nymph, but they're really weird and round looking, and they are very colorful. And I was like, ew. So I just killed one. Ew, stink bug. Ooh, look. Oh, I'm bleeding. Not really. But see, my hands are going to be stained for the rest of the day now. But yeah, so why am I making a tincture? Well, there's lots of things going on today that I've been reading in the news, and I am typically not a news girl, because it causes me extreme anxiety. I quit the news maybe about 6 years ago and have not watched the news, and I avoid all commercials because I'm slightly a hypochondriac, and so I avoid commercials, especially ones when they talk about prescription drugs. That really bothers me. So I stopped watching commercials. And so, okay. But anyway, why am I making this? That was the main thing. Sorry, I got off on a tangent. I'm making this because I read the news today, and it talked about how there's, oh, hey, Chris. Shame my channel is chock full of news. Yes. That's okay. I watch to my certain extent, and then I leave. So please don't feel offended. I don't do news. But anyway, I'm making this because I read in the news that the virus is starting to kick back up. And now I'm not like a freak about that. I'm like, oh my God, get in your bunker. The virus is coming, or get your mask ready. I'm not about that. But I am about protecting myself and boosting my immune system, because I have a low immune system. And so I am about boosting my immune system. And so elderberries are known to do that and to have a lot of antioxidants and stuff like that in it. And they're very good for you. So I'm going to do that. Plus my son, if you guys don't know me by now, my son, just last year with the 6 months that he had went to school, because we did it in the middle of the year, he had gotten us sick, I don't know how many times, and gave me pink eye, I don't know about how many times, 3 times. And so now I have a chronic eye condition from getting pink eye. Yay! Where I have chronic dry eye in my left eye. It's great. So, but anyway, I'm going to get ahead of myself and start boosting my immune system a little bit early before he goes to school. Oh, thanks, Chris. Appreciate you. Only here for a minute. I have 2 other broadcasts. Oh, okay. Well, thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. Sorry, I'm on YouTube Live. I'm not using a streaming service, and so the chat is just real small. Okay. How do you cook the elderberries? You don't want to cook them. Not for what I'm doing. Now, you can cook them for making the elderberry syrup, but you don't want to cook them for very long, and you don't want to cook them on a high heat, because if you do that, you ruin all the properties, and especially if you're putting honey in them. So you just kind of let them simmer for a little bit, and don't bring them up to a roaring boil or anything like that, because you don't want to ruin them. And you also don't, if you're putting honey in it, which if you're making an elderberry syrup, a lot of people put the honey in it. And you don't want to like ruin the properties of the honey either. And if you boil it, it just turns to sugar. And so that doesn't do anything for you either. So you don't want to put it to a boil. Hopefully that made sense to you. What's that say? It's been 105 real temperature, but heat index is what's killing everything off. Had to give up on the garden, everything got fried. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Next year, be a little more prepared if you can. Use shade cloths and use things that are a little more heat tolerant in the garden. And I know that's easier said than done, because a lot of things that this year were just like freak accidents, like the weather, like being so hot and everything. It's usually not like that. I use dried elderberries to infuse the honey. Okay, you can do that, but you're not going to get the properties that you want out of that. Hello, Arsenic. Thank you for coming in, dude. You're not going to get the properties out of that. You want to use fresh matter for tinctures. The dried ones have been cooked. So you want to use the fresh matter. Hello. Wow, Courtney, I had the same problem on the New Year's Day. Got pink eye 5 times after. Yeah, dude, it sucks. I was so mad. And I was really mad because apparently there was a specific virus. Now, there's a specific virus that can give you pink eye and without contact. So even if you weren't around anybody, if my son got a cold, that particular cold would go to his eyes, and then that causes pink eye. And so I was really pissed. So I actually I waited a whole month before I went to the doctor, because I hate going to the doctors. And so I waited a whole month, and finally I went to the doctor and got put on an antibiotic, and she said that would wipe out what she thought was in my eye. So yeah, sucks. Sucks big time. Okay, wow, good to know about the pink eye. Yeah, because a lot of people are like, oh my God, how did I get pink eye? I don't understand. Well, you got it from your cold, because your cold can get into your eye, and then that can cause pink eye. There's 2 different types of pink eye. There is a bacterial and a viral, and the viral, this is what cracks me up. You go to the doctor, right, and they'll give you medication, but if it's a viral, it's not going to do anything for you. It's something that has to rid your body It's, it has to go through, its course. So they give you something for a bacterial infection in the eye, when really those drops aren't really going to do anything for you. But they don't really have a way of knowing unless they fully examine your eye, which most of the time they don't, because it's very time consuming and stuff like that, or they're not equipped. For me, I just went to like a minute clinic or something. I didn't, so they were like, oh, well, we're going to give you the eye drops, and I just took them because I assumed, but really those drops are going to do nothing for you if you have the viral infection. We broke every record for heat here. I'm sorry guys, I am actually sweating, believe it or not. We broke every record for heat here. The farmers are now worried soybeans are going to go bad. Anything over 85 degrees fried them. I'm so sorry. That sucks. And that just doesn't suck for you, but it sucks for everybody in the country. And I actually did a trip to Lancaster, Pennsylvania in May, and they were already predicting that it was going to be a horrible year for crops as far as water is concerned, because they didn't have any ways of watering all the crops without paying for the water. So it's going to be a very, very costly year. So if you get stuff from the grocery store, the cost of everything is really up anyway, but it's really going to be bad because they had to use more water sources to water their crops this year. I heard it was really, really bad down there. Yes, it is. New York Hot Sauce Festival is September 30th. I wish I could go to that. I love New York. That's awesome. All right, hold on. I gotta check on my son. Give me one moment. Okay, he's still out there spinning his wheels, so we're good. Kansas, we already had bad wheat crops. Yeah, that sucks too. What are you gonna do? You can't do it. All you can do is prepare yourself. Oh, I got a little worm on this one, and it's like, I don't know if it's fried or if it's permanently in that position. A little inchworm. Sorry, inchworm dude, but you're gonna die. Alright, so I'm not going to have a whole lot to make a huge tincture. I'm going to use a small jar for making this tincture because I didn't get out there soon enough to pick elderberries. I did pick them, but I froze them. Oh, hey Mutt, did you change your name? What's your America look like? How you doing, dude? Long time no see, man. Yeah, so I'm definitely not going to have enough. But it's all right. I did what I could. And, yeah, some of these are still green, which is really weird. Picked through. You know what was really weird? Is my blueberry bushes didn't get picked through a whole lot either this year. It's like the birds didn't want them or something. It was very strange. I said, heck yeah, don't eat my berries, birds. Works for me. But anyway, okay, so we need to really pray for Maui right now. There's a lot going on there. There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there. I don't really know the half of it, but I feel bad for those people, and we really need to pray for them and lift them up in prayer because they're going through a really, really hard time right now. And, of course, you're hearing all the horror stories about FEMA and stuff like that, and how FEMA's not really helping them, and we don't really know what's going on there. I'm not there personally to look at the situation, but I have been watching a lot of the local things on Instagram, and we just really need to pray for them, and hopefully things will get better for them, but I really doubt that because lots of children have died, and I can't even imagine losing your family. No, this is my other channel. We cover a lot of pro-America stuff on here and a lot of history stuff. Oh, cool. I love history. I'm a huge history fanatic. A lot of people don't know this about me. Well, a lot of people don't know me in general, but when I was younger, I was the youngest member of my town's historical society. And that's another reason why I love cemeteries so much, because there's so much history. All right. Yeah, most of these were picked through, guys, so I'm not going to have much to make a tincture, but I will show you how I make one as soon as I wash these off. A lot of chickens, goats, and rabbits passing away from the heat. Yes, and really, honestly, you really need to watch that. I always give my chickens a cool treat. They always have access to water, and if I think it's super hot out there, I will get the sprinkler out and spray them down. And and it's when you have rabbits too, like, you can totally put ice water, freeze water, and put water bottles in their cages and stuff. So there's no reason for thousands of animals to be dying when you can really cool them off very easily. Let's see. We just covered Generation X last night. Oh, I'm on the cusp of Generation X, and I prefer to be a Generation X, but unfortunately I'm classified as a millennial. Yes, I love cemeteries too. Yes. And will give me a second. I gotta go find my son. Give me one moment. Frederick, get over here now. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I was born in '84, so I totally missed that cusp. Hello, Wendy McLean. Thank you for coming in and hanging out. Sorry, my son was in the carport, and I don't prefer that he go there. And he was being bad. He's been very bad lately. Ever since he spent the night at his grandmother's over the weekend. He spent the night at both grandmothers, my mom's and his other grandmother. And ever since he did that, he's been really, really bad. Like, horribly bad. So, I have to really watch everything that he does. Alright. We will grandfather you in as one of us. Okay, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, like I said, I was right on the cusp, and people consider me a millennial, and I'm like, no. I'm far from it. My parents grew up in the 50s and 60s. My parents were quite older than my normal parents. They're normal parents. My parents are really older, So I grew up listening to Motown and music from the 50s and 60s and, stuff like that. So I don't think I'm a millennial. It's just because of the way I was raised, to work hard, and stuff like that. So, I don't believe that I am. Alright. And these don't look so hot, so I'm... stink bug! I don't like you. You're gonna die. It's one thing about these elderberries, man. There's like stink bugs and crap all over them. Okay, so I'm gonna use what I can from this. Some of them are really gross. And so... I actually like Harlem back in the 70s and stuff. I love the history of it. when I was in New York City, I didn't go to Harlem, and I was very upset. I wanted to see it. I don't know, and for some reason I wanted to go to Hell's Kitchen too, but I didn't get a chance to go there either. And so I've been to New York City like multiple times, but the one time that I went and I was like free to do whatever I wanted, I got a hotel and did whatever I wanted. I didn't go for some reason. But Harlem dates back to the 1790. Wow, I can't read. Dates back to like 1790 or thereabouts. Yeah, it's real old. It's cool. Really cool. Gangsters and all different kinds of cool stuff. Yeah. Yeah, this area is popular with the gangsters of Chicago. Pretty Boy Floyd was out here. He used a house here for one of his hiding places when he was running from the cops. So yeah, this area here has a whole area from like history from the 1920s as well. Stuff that you don't normally hear about. It's really cool. During Prohibition and stuff. Fun stuff. Alright, so I didn't get much, guys. Sorry. And I'm going to rinse these off. Take out the green ones because they don't serve me well. If they're stems, I'm taking off the stems, okay? So you want to make sure you're doing that. Don't include the stems. One, it's gross. Two, they have more cyanide in them than any other part of the plant. True fact though, most berries, apples, oh, my chicken is loose, lady. That girl, she is crazy. She's been coming out of the coop she's my olive egger, and she's been coming out, just, she's the only one, just coming on out, grazing the backyard, like, oh, here's an apple, I think I'll eat this. Goofy girl. But yeah, there's most things, like, apples, stuff like that. Apples have arsenic in them. And so you're going to get, if you're making wine or something like that, you're going to get a higher concentrate of arsenic and things like that in your wine product because it's a natural occurring thing. So don't eat the seeds, don't process the seeds of an apple because arsenic is in the seeds. But anyway, okay, so I'll show you what this looks like. It's okay, Ginger. Thanks for coming in. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I rinsed it, I put it in my strainer, and it looks pretty good. Some of them were pretty bad. So this is, I'm not going to get a whole lot out of this tincture. Not going to get a whole lot. But it's enough to probably last me through cold and flu season. And see, there's some stems right there. So I'm going to pick those out. I hate that, man. Hate it. Why that stem's got to be in there? Okay. I'm going to pick some of these out. See, they're really easy to remove, the stems. It's just a pain in the ass kind of thing, though, because you get them and you have to go through each one. And so just, yeah, do yourself a solid and pick the stems out before you put them in. And, yeah. So there you go. All right, I'm going to flip this back around. And there we go. We're back. Okay, so the green ones I'm tossing out. They don't serve me. I'm picking more stems out of this. And, yeah. That's probably when I use that fork. I'm like, oh, I'll just use a fork. And then I reminded myself just to use my fingers. Should have known better. Okay, so let me get a jar real quick and put this syrup to good use. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a jar like this because I don't have that many elderberries. And yeah, so I'm going to use a really small jar. And honestly, that's really all I need, because when you're making a tincture and when you use a dropper, it's a highly concentrated thing. So you're really only using like 20 drops per tea or whatever you're drinking, or if you're putting it in your water or whatever. So this is probably the best thing to use for what I have. Hey Joe, how you doing? Says Ginger. Doing good. Can't wait to get back online in September. Great things are going to happen. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Oh, by the way, Ginger and Sheepy and Dan, I ordered those seeds, and I'm just waiting on Baker Creek. And as soon as I get those seeds in, I'll be shipping them off your direction, the carrot seeds, for the large carrot. So I'm just letting you know. I didn't forget about you, but I'm waiting on Baker Creek to actually send them out to me. So, all right. I think I picked all the stems off. So I'm going to go ahead and put my berries in my jar. Just like this. A lot of people will dry them off or whatever. It doesn't really matter. But my husband will be happy that I made this, because he was like, oh, we didn't do one. What are we going to do? And I'm like, I'll make it. So I'm glad Oh, you know what? I might get a full jar, which is cool. I didn't think I would, so works for me. And I'm just making sure that there's no stems. I don't want to put any stem in my tincture. I did rinse these off really good to avoid any extra raw matter that could go wrong. Oh, this is cool. This is cool. I'm going to have a full jar, which I measured, you know what I mean, visually measured wrong. I didn't think that I was going to. I have about 25 elderberry bushes, and we've propagated them throughout the years. So FYI, guys, if you have an elderberry bush, it's so easy to propagate it and to make more. So just an FYI. You sure not thinking of some... Huh? I haven't won any seeds lately. Oh, you did. You won some seeds. I'm gonna send them to you. I'm sending. It's for the carrot, from the carrot challenge. It's just my thank you for participating in the challenge. So if you get the seeds, maybe next year, join the challenge again and see if you can grow a big carrot. Ours was 27 inches. Oh. Oh, look at that, guys. This is a jelly jar. It's not anything particular or fancy, but this is what I got. Pretty good. And yeah, I'll just use the whole thing and to put a tincture, make a tincture from it. So I'm going to show you how to make a quick tincture. Real easy. Real easy, y'all. Okay, hold on. Sorry, it's really up close and personal. So this is, and I'm sorry, guys. If I put it down, you can see it. Okay, I just couldn't see it. All right, so this is my elderberry right here. And I just picked these. These are fresh matter, no stems. And then I'm using 110 proof vodka. No, I'm kidding. It's a little too early for that. But I'm just going to, and I'm leaving a little bit of headspace. Just so like I can shake it up and stuff. Because every once in a while you want to shake it. I'm going to cover the entire thing. There we go. Hello, Missy. Thank you for coming in, Missy. Okay, so I got my 110 proof vodka in there. Yeah. So go ahead and put a lid on this. A lot of people say that the vodka corrodes the lids. I really don't think it does that. I guess if it does, if you leave it on for like 6 months or something. I'm only going to do this for 6 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks. So that's how much you want to leave it on. Just enough for the berries to soak in. Okay, I've missed the process up until now. Did you boil them or is it just straight alcohol? It is just straight alcohol that they soak in. Now people that are alcoholics and can't have alcohol or refuse to have alcohol, you can use other tincture methods, but they don't preserve as long. So you can use things like glycerin and apple cider vinegar and stuff like that. They're just not going to live as long. I thought I had something in my eye. But... Oh, I said, what you doing? Hi. Oh, yeah, we got him a fire truck, so we're going to go and open the fire truck because he can't live without it. Hold on now. How do I open this? Oh, man. I hate when they do that. Give me a second. It's going to take me a minute. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Hold on now. There's screws in it, and I got to unscrew it. Oh, he's got to have the fire truck. Oh. Can you say fire truck?
Bada.
What? Say fire truck.
Bada.
Yeah, fire truck. They're cool, dude. Hold on now. Oh, I'm not going to give you that. Okay. You're good. There was like a kid's screwdriver set in here. He so doesn't need that. Okay, so I put my vodka on there. You got to have the vodka. And then afterwards you enjoy a nice pickle. So are you soaking these to consume the berries later? Yes. Not to consume the berries, but the juice. The juice that the alcohol extracts from that. And then I will drain it and put it in... Oh, thanks, Ginger. I will strain it after about 6 to 8 weeks, and I'm probably going to push more to 8 weeks because I'll probably forget about it in the cupboard. And then what I'll do is I'll strain it, and then what's left over is tincture. And I can use that for put in my tea. You probably don't want to put it in tea because the tea will be too hot. It might not benefit you as much, so you could put it in water. Can I use Jameson's? Yes, you can use anything. Anything alcohol. Just watch your alcohol content, like the proof, because you want to stick between 80 to 100 proof. You don't want to go over that, and you don't want to use like 151 or 191 or anything like that. Can I use it? Yes, you can use Jameson. You can totally use whiskey for sure. And actually, if you're sick, that might work out better for you. You could do a little honey and Jameson and elderberry syrup. So, no, if you cook them, you're going to get rid of all the benefits. Yes, you don't want to cook them. And that's the same with any other matter that you get. It's just the matter and straight up alcohol. You don't want to cook it. If you do that, you're going to ruin all the benefits that it can provide you. Yeah, I mean, unless your shine is between 80 to 100 proof, you can get an alcohol thermometer for that, and to know the proof. And you can measure it between 80 to 100 proof, then yes, you can use moonshine. there's not going to be enough arsenic in there to kill you. You're going to be okay. Because really, when you're making a tincture and you're using drops, you're only, ooh, a beautiful butterfly. You're only going to be using about 20 to 30 drops per your container. So if there is a straight trace amounts of arsenic in there, it's not going to hurt you. And it's not like you're going to be like eating the stems. So you're good. The stems actually carry most of the arsenic and the majority of it. So you're good. And believe me, when I first started messing with elderberry, I was extremely scared because I thought, oh, I'm just going to get arsenic poisoning. I'm going to die. But really, you're not going to die. And like probably the most you will get is probably you'll crap your pants or something. It's not going to hurt you if you do get a little arsenic in there. It's not a high amount that's just going to keel you over. Yes, tinctures are real easy, guys. I am not a medical doctor or anything like that. Yes, please make sure you give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. I just saw another thumbs up, so cool. But yeah, tinctures are real easy, but I am not a doctor. This is never a cure for anything. Besides what I believe, I'm not a doctor or anything like that. So this is just from what I have learned throughout most of my life. So, but yeah. Number 13. Oh, thank you. That's what's up. Okay, so you learned a lot. But yeah, like I said, this here, this carries the arsenic. The roots definitely have arsenic. So you just want to be careful. And don't get the stems and stuff. Sorry, my throat's really dry. I'm going to go ahead and put a lid on this. A lot of people will put like a wax paper over this or something like that and cover it. I will probably do that. It stops the metal for possibly corroding into your tincture because, you know, alcohol can be kind of corrosive to like metal and stuff like that. Hold on 1 second. I have a ton of extra lids. By the way, when I pull off a lid from something, oh man, all of a sudden I got really dry. When I usually pull off a lid from something, I save them, and like if I'm not going to use the lid ever again, I save it and I put an R on the top of it. That R stands for refrigerator. And I can use that lid again, but I will not use it for like pressure canning or canning again. So if the lid is not right, I won't use it again. But I usually have a bag of those and I can't find it. Oh, cool. I have a lid here. What the shelf life on these? Forever. There is no shelf life. Alcohol is a natural preservant. So you can put anything in alcohol and it will preserve it forever. So that's what I was telling you guys earlier. That when people don't use the alcohol. Hello, Lighthouse Society. Thank you for coming in. Appreciate you. When you like use things when you're making a tincture like apple cider vinegar, or if you're using a glycerin or something like that. Well, okay. Well, thank you all the way from San Francisco. Appreciate you. Those things don't last forever. Alcohol will last forever. It's a really good preservant of things. So you can literally have a tincture sitting around in alcohol forever. And you'll end up straining the berries after 6 to 8 weeks anyway. So there's my lid. I did get my rings. Here's my ring. And you want to store this in a cool, dark place for 6 to 8 weeks, guys. So that's what I plan on doing. And I'm so lucky I was able to, sorry, my throat. Holy moly. I was so lucky I was able to get these elderberries because most of them were picked over, and I didn't think there was going to be much out there. But this is what it looks like. Also, when you're doing a tincture, you also want to make sure that it's covering your whole matter. You want to make sure that everything in this jar is covered. Because if it's not, it can mold and stuff like that if it's sticking up out of the alcohol. So you want to make sure that everything in your tincture is covered. And you can use pretty much anything to make a tincture. I have a bunch of feverfew, and I plan on making tincture out of that. You can make a chamomile tincture. You can make a lemon balm tincture. You can make a tincture pretty much out of anything. A really good tincture for your face is thyme. You can make a thyme tincture. If you have a lot of problems with acne or something like that, you can use a little thyme in your tincture. So you can pretty much make a tincture out of anything. You can use lemon fruit. Yes, you can. As long as it's sticking out of, or not sticking out of the alcohol. You've got to make sure that your matter in there is covered. Leave the tops of my elderberries for the birds. Yeah, that's what we did, kind of. The birds had picked over my forage spots a lot, too. Yeah, it sucks. I just didn't have enough time. Between the farmer's market and everything else going on. And then, honestly, elderberries are a pain in the ass. So that was kind of like holding us off, too. Because they're a pain in the butt to harvest and peel all the berries off and then de-stem and make sure you don't have any stems, and then you wash them. I got about 16 pounds in my freezer right now, and I'm going to make like a juice or a wine or something with it, but I can't make a tincture. It's already frozen, and it's not gonna be good to make tinctures out of that. You want to use live matter for making tinctures. Hopefully I educated y'all. Yeah, I just don't have enough time for everything. I really didn't. And now my apple trees, you guys, I have thousands of apples. Thousands, and I can't get to them all, and my trees are buckling. So at some point or another, I have to go outside. We have to go and pick those, or we're going to ruin our trees. They're just buckled over with apples this year. It's nuts. So there might be some moonshine in the future. Maybe. We'll see. With all the apples. What are you doing? You came back in? You like that? Is it oh, it is. It's one of those wind-up ones? Cool. I didn't know that. So, okay, here's a good tip, y'all. I went to, I rarely go to this store. The Dollar Tree, which is now, it's no longer $1. It's $1.25 tree. I went there because they have these labels that I absolutely love, and I haven't been in years. When I went the last time, I bought like 1,200 of these labels. They're like little sticker labels. And I haven't went back since, and I go again to get these labels, and they didn't have any more. So, yeah, harvest time does creep up, for sure. But yeah, so I went, and then he saw that fire truck, and so I got him a fire truck for $5 at the Dollar Tree. Oh, it's crazy. Okay, y'all. Did you have any questions about tinctures? I can pretty much answer anything. I've been making tinctures for a while. I made lemon balm tincture. That also helps. So if you have any questions, you can also email me, or you can message me. I have Facebook and all that stuff as well. So, but, all right. I've been live for 50 minutes, so I want to thank you all for coming in and watching me do this. And hopefully you learned a little something. And we will see you all next time. Next week I start my new schedule. So my new schedule is going to be Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we will see you all then. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for your support. And thanks for the thumbs up. Bye, y'all. Do you pickle beets? Oh, Lord. No. I don't like beets. So no, I won't be pickling any. But no, I've never pickled them. I do like the pickled eggs that come with the beets. Like, that's really good. But no, I've never done them myself, so. Okay, guys, have a good one. We'll see you next time.